Hi everyone, before we begin, are you all ready? Great, let's get started. My name is Gina Dimadi and you can call me A. Today our group will introduce an excellent and meaningful celebration known as the Samhain Fire Festival. When people think of ends of October, they usually think of Halloween. However, Halloween does not simply appear in history, meaning its tradition actually developed from a much older Celtic festival called Samhain. Samhain was traditionally celebrated from October 31st to November 1st. It marks the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. For example, Celtic community is not just a seasonal change, it represents a major turning point in the cycle of life. In the past, winter was harsh and unpredictable. There was no modern technology, no heating system, and no supermarkets. People depended entirely on their harvest. If they failed to prepare properly, survival was uncertain. For this reason, Samhain was both a celebration of gratitude and a period of serious preparation for the months ahead. It was a moment to reflect on the past year and prepare for a new beginning. In this presentation, we will explore in historical origin, spiritual belief, fire rituals, traditional foods, and its influence on modern culture. To begin, let's start first examine its historical and spiritual meaning. Lin, could you expand this part?
Yes, of course. At first, my name is Natisha Sinamyan, and you can call me Nit. Samhain dates back more than 2,000 years and was one of the most significant festivals of the ancient sects. In fact, it was often regarded as Celtic New Year. The Celtic calendar divided the year into two main parts. The lighter half, associated with growth and life, and the darker half connected to clothes, lace, and dates. Samhain marked the beginning of the darker half of the year. However, Samhain was not only about climate or agriculture, it also carried deep spiritual meaning. The sects believed that during this time, the boundary between the human world and the spirit world became thin. As a result, spirits were believed to cross into the world of the living. Some spirits were thought to be ancestors, returning home. Families would prepare food or leave space at the table to welcome them. On the other hand, some spirits were believed to be harmful and mischievous. Therefore, Samhain was both a time of remembrance and caution. It encouraged reflection on life, death, and the natural cycle of renewal. One of the most powerful symbols of this festival was fire. Could you tell us more about the fire rituals?
Of course. Hello everyone. My name is Nakun Namchu, and you can call me Nakun. Fire play a central role in Samhain, which is why it is often referred to as a fire festival. Large communal bonfires were lit in villages. These fires symbolize protection, purification, and unity. People believe that fire had the power to cleanse negative energy and drive away harmful spirits. In some traditions, household fires were extinguished before Samhain. Then a sacred fire was lit by Druids, who were spiritual leaders in Celtic society. Families would take embers from this sacred fire back to their home to relight their hearths. This act symbolized renewed protection and fresh begin for the new year. rituals were performed around the bonfire, including offering of crops or animals. These acts were expressions of gratitude and requests for safety during the difficult winter months. Fire is not merely practical, it carried symbolic meaning of hope, strength, and transformation. Besides fire, people also rely on costume and traditional belief to protect themselves. Next, could you continue that part?
Certainly. Hi everyone, my name is Gom Gom. You can call me Liz. During Samhain, people often wore disguises made from animal skin and masks. This practice was built on the belief that spirits wander freely during that night. By sensing their appearance, people hope to avoid being recognized by harmful spirits. Over time, this tradition gradually influences modern Halloween costumes. Samhain was also strongly connected to superstition and divination. It was considered the most powerful time of the year for predicting the future. Many people were especially curious about love, marriage, health, and dread destiny. For example, apple was commonly used in fortune-telling rituals. One belief suggested that if someone peeled an apple in one long strip and threw it over there, showed the shape of the peel would form the first letter of their future partner name. These rituals reflected both fear and curiosity. People were uncertain about the coming winter and wanted reassurance about what lay ahead. Through the tradition, Samhain became a time of both winter and hope. Leo, could you explain more about that?
Sure. Hello everyone, my name is Louis Sedet and you can call me Leo. Because Samhain took place at the end of the harvest season, food played a very important role in the celebration. Meals were prepared using seasonal ingredients such as apple, grains, pumpkin, and root vegetables. Common dishes include bread, stew, roast meat, and apple desserts. Some traditional bread contain small hidden charms. Each charm symbolizes something different, such as good fortune, prosperity, or marriage in the coming years. Families often leave portions of food outside their home as offering to spirits or ancestors. This act represents hospitality, gratitude, and hope for protection. Sharing food also strengthens relationships within the communities. At the time when survival depends on cooperation, unity was essential. Food during Samhain was not only nourishment, it symbolized appreciation for the harvest and trust in the futures. Now that we have discussed their ancient tradition, let's look at how Samhain continues today. Kim, could you conclude our presentation?
Yes, of course. Hello everyone, my name isณณสร and you can call me Kim. Today, Samhain is still observed by modern pagans and individuals who follow Celtic spiritual tradition. Although the rituals today are generally simpler, the core values remain the same: honoring ancestors, reflecting on the cycle of life and death, and respecting natural rhythms. Many elements of Samhain have influenced modern Halloween, including costume, bonfire, and theme involving spirit and mystery. However, there is an important difference. Modern Halloween is largely commercial and focused on entertainment, while Samhain maintains a deeper spiritual meaning. Even today, some people use this time for quiet reflection, remembrance of loved ones, and personal renewal. In conclusion, the Samhain Fire Festival shows how ancient tradition and evolve while preserving the cultural significance. It reminds us that festivals are not only about celebration, but also about memory, identity, and our connection to the natural world. Thank you very much for your attention.